Thank you and welcome to another episode of Brothers Talk. I'm your host, Dash the Creator, and today I have the opportunity to interview someone that I've known for not too long. I guess I would say a couple of years, but I thought she'd be quite interesting to bring on the show. Heather Millhouse. Heather, thank you and welcome to Brothers Talk.
Thank you for having me, Deshaun.
Absolutely. I wanted to bring you on because I've always known you to be a very kind and honest person. But recently we talked and you were telling me your story about how you transitioned from punching a clock to actually owning your own mini spot. So I immediately thought, oh man, we got to talk about this.
Yes, it was quite eventful.
Right. Yeah. And your mini spa, I was surprised to see that you had so many services. A lot of these services, obviously, as a guy, not that I'm saying that a guy can't use these services. After reading through them and understanding what some of this stuff is, and I'll need your help on some of them, but I definitely could see the benefits of it. Definitely a remarkable amount of services that you do provide. I see that you provide Brazilian waxing, laser hair removal, facial waxing, bikini wax. This is what I thought was really interesting. Laser skin tightening. It's a non-abrasive, like I guess what it's using a laser and you're heating up the tissue beneath the skin and eliminating fat. And what that does is it causes collagen to grow, so it naturally tightens your skin. And I think I was reading that it lasts up to 1 to 5 years. Some other stuff that I see you do lipo, I can't even. I'm not
Cavitation.
Cavitation, thank you. I see you do hydrofacials, which I also see that you do backshals. Am I saying that right? Backshals?
Facial,
It's like
yeah, facials.
facials. Geez. Yeah, you can tell I'm new to all this. But I see you do facials, which are basically facials for the back. It's a back facial. And then this one here, the lymphatic facial. So I guess you're maybe pressure on some pressure points in the face because the lymphatic system is a critical part of our immune system. So I guess by doing that, it's, helps drain fluids from
Yes.
parts in your face. So it improves blood flow and it gives you a healthier looking skin.
Yes.
All right. And then I see you do Lipo 360, which is a procedure that smooths and contours like your midsection.
It's not only your midsection, it's actually an all over body cavitation. So it's
Mhm.
360 because it does your whole body.
Ah, okay. I see. I see. So quite a few services there. I have to ask, and I don't think I asked you this question before, but what got you into this line of business rather than something else?
Actually, Sharon, I've been in the beauty industry for the last 19 years. I
Mhm.
just decided not to work for anyone anymore. I
Right.
felt like that there was a need in this area and I was willing to fulfill the need.
Yeah, that's certainly awesome. I know that you were with employer for a lot of years, for what, over 10 years?
About 15.
15 years, and
Yes.
then you transitioned from that to having a mini spa.
It
That
wasn't really a transition into that. I was licensed in 2003. I've always done it, but I did it as a side job
mm,
instead of having it as my main job. Well, now I just switch roles. Now I work for myself and I'm enjoying the ride. Like it's
right,
been pretty interesting, I could say the least. And the process of transitioning into working for myself and not working for someone else, it can get scary at times. But overall,
mhm.
I get the most enjoyment working for myself and being of service to the people of our community.
Yeah, I would think, for doing some of these services that there has to be a connection with the client, like, in some kinda way.
Very much so. For one, like I am very discreet with my processes. So you don't see me post a lot of bodies. Like I get a written consent form signed if I do, but most
Mhm.
majority of the people that I service, they want to be discreet. So
Right,
I work with being very transparent with them to get them the results they require.
right,
I don't give anybody a service that I think won't work.
right, and there's a lot of training that goes into it. Like you said, you were licensed since 2003.
Yes.
How long does that licensing process take?
Well, it took about 10 months at first. You have to
Mhm.
get state licensed. Then I went back to school and obtained another license. Then you have all kinds of master classes that you have to attend to stay
Mm,
current with your craft. You have to make sure that you stay on trend. With this industry, the beauty industry, it's very transitional. You have to transition into the next phase. There's several trends that come and go. So you have to
right,
be able to shift into the next trend. You can't
right.
stay stagnant.
I mean, when I think about it, that's kind of interesting because it's not something. I mean, because when I was looking up some of these, what these things were and the procedures that go behind it and everything like that, it made sense that they had to be specialized training. It wasn't like something that just anybody could just walk and do. It's definitely something that requires an acute education to be successful in.
Yes, there are certificates for certain things, but essentially you need a license to even start doing these
Right.
things and have it be legal.
So how does that work? So I guess you get a license. I mean, you got to do some training or go to school for it, and then you get a license, and then you kind of get to practice and perfect your craft after that.
Well, you get your license, but you have to go through the state board of Pennsylvania
Mm,
and take your theory and also a practical test before you get
mm.
licensed.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess that makes sense that you would have to be able to perform the procedures correctly before you would actually be licensed to do it.
Right.
What kind of school do you go to? Like, is it like beauty school that you would go to, or?
Yes, you go to beauty school. I
Mhm.
absolutely love this field. I love every moment of it when I make somebody feel good about themselves.
Right.
That's what I basically get from this.
Yeah, and also too, many of the procedures have some significant health benefits. Like even just doing the facials and the back facials, they were saying that what it does for the skin makes your
Right.
skin healthier, and I guess it even improves like circulation and a couple of other health benefits that go along with that.
Right. Well, not only does it have benefits to your skin, but it also has benefits for your mental health.
Mm,
A lot of people don't realize the pertinence it is to keep your body intact.
right,
And when you don't, it weighs on your mental health, which decreases over time as
right.
you age.
Yeah, and that's kind of part of my core philosophy. You do have to invest in yourself. I heard a guy, his name is Byron. I can't remember his last name, but he was a pastor, sales coach. I think he does sales coaching, but he also has an online ministry. And he was saying, he was talking about be, do, have. In order for you to have something, you have to obviously do something to have it, right?
Right.
And the only way that you can do the do part is you have to become whatever it is that you need to become in order to do. And then once you become what you need to become, then you're able to do and then you're able to have. And going back to my story about, we were not rich. I would even say in some ways, I guess we would consider ourselves maybe poor. At one point, we were pretty poor, but it's not until you change some things or invest in yourself. And then once you invest in yourself, then you're able to do things and then you're able to have certain things. But that first part, investing in yourself, like you're saying, your services are not just to make a person beautiful on the outside, but it's to also help them change on the inside, make them feel better about themselves. And those two things combined together add a significant health benefit to a person.
Right. When you look good,
Yeah.
you feel good.
Right. Simply when you look good, you feel good. Absolutely. I guess one of the questions I was thinking about for you was you were mentioning that it's quite a bit in investment education wise just to, learn how to do this stuff. But the equipment, I'm assuming that the equipment is pretty expensive as well.
Yes, I'm not going to kid you. It wasn't cheap, but
Yeah.
it was an expense that was well needed.
Right. I know that there's different type of licenses and stuff like that, but would you be open to somebody that maybe that just got their license and it's certified and everything, having them work with you, maybe being an assistant for them to develop their skill to a high level?
Definitely. I would love to get an assistant. That's the whole point of me going back for my teacher's license. I would like to be
Mm.
a teaching facility. Like
Okay.
in essence, it's almost like Luke's and Lehigh Valley Hospital are teaching facilities. I would like to have that kind of office. Like, how can you get experience if nobody's willing to give you a chance?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because even you're right, people just getting a chance. Sometimes that's really hard. I just did an interview with my sister-in-law, who is a director marketing for a 20 billion. I said 2 billion in the interview, but it's actually a $20 billion company. And one of the things that she was saying was just trying to move up the ladder and get the experience to get those promotions. It was tough. It was a struggle. Just being able to give people the opportunity to be able to, learn a skill, something in your case, it's almost a lifelong skill because you were licensed in 2003. It's, almost 2023 and half a year. We're talking about 20 years.
Right.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of time to be able to master a skill. So it makes sense that, yeah, if you wanted to move into the teaching realm, I mean, that seems like that would be right up your alley.
Yeah, that's my goal is to become a teacher and not only just teach in my own facility. I want to teach in a school. Essentially, one of the things that we don't have in this area is
Hmm.
a cosmetology school that has any ethnic curriculum. When I was learning cosmetology, I was teaching my teachers.
Mm,
They didn't know how to braid.
Right,
They
right.
didn't know how to install weaves. They didn't know
Wow.
how to treat our skin. So, I mean, it's advanced a little now,
Mhm.
not that much, not enough for
Right.
us to have all these black and brown people in this town. The curriculum hasn't advanced enough.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense. Lehigh Valley is the third largest population in Pennsylvania, so behind Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So yeah, I
Right.
mean, absolutely makes sense. And especially when you have I think you got a nice flow of people coming from other states like New Jersey and New York. Makes sense.
Philly, South Carolina, there's many states that come move here.
Yep. Shout out to Philly, South Carolina.
There's many people that move here, but they're at a loss because now they have to travel to go get their hair done, or they think they have to travel.
Right.
Essentially, we want to be able to service everyone. As I expand, I would like to incorporate, I mean, there's only one stop shop here in Pennsylvania. I would like to incorporate my business to have another one stop shop.
Right. That makes sense. So it sounds like you're open to maybe even collaborating or partnering with someone that maybe has other services that you don't have, and for you both to dwell under one roof and be able to provide all those services to your clients.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We want to keep all the money that is to be made in Allentown or Bethlehem or Easton. Like we want to
Mhm.
keep it in the Lehigh Valley. So they don't have to travel to New York to get their hair done. They don't have to try to travel to Philly to get their hair done. When we have all this talent in Allentown, Pennsylvania,
Right. I
I
mean,
know many girls that are doing a phenomenal job at doing hair.
mhm,
I know not that many estheticians that specialize in Black,
mhm.
African, and American estheticians. I don't know
Right.
many.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that makes a successful business, right? Identifying a need and solving that need. So
Right.
that's pretty impressive. I'm excited to see where things go from there. I was going to save this question to the end, but I guess a question I should ask is like, where do you see yourself from a year to 5 years from now with your business?
In 5 years,
Hmm.
where I see us as one of Allentown's premium one stop shops. And in essence, we would be a training facility. We would be
Right.
in competition with a cosmetology school.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And I think I talked to you, and I think you already mentioned to me that you put together like a lesson plan or like a course, or you're almost finishing or just about done, or I can't
No, I'm
remember.
finished with my a few courses actually.
So you already have something in place that you would be able to start teaching, starting that teaching branch of your business.
Yes, I have a course for luxury facials, a course for lipocavitation, wood therapy, Brazilian non-invasive butt plumps, non-invasive breast pumps. I have quite a bit of courses that I could put out right now.
Mhm.
But in due time, like I'll get there one step at a time.
So I guess one of the things that I think to myself is because even like with people hearing, you have these courses and you have the ability to teach and you sound very knowledgeable. I start to think to myself, people will probably start seeking you out to get this information and get this training. What would you say is, I don't know, maybe the number one, or maybe not a number, but what would you say are the top qualities that a person should have to be able to be successful in this type of business?
Adaptability. They have to be flexible in their thought processes that they can be relatable to every client. They have to be able to adapt to every situation they encounter.
And I think you have to definitely care about people as well.
You definitely do. This is not about the money for me. This is about serving a need in my community.
Wow.
You don't
Yeah, that's
hear too
awesome.
much about too many businesses like this in the area that I'm in
Mm,
to make it affordable for everyone to get a lymphatic massage, for everyone to get a facial. That's usually a high end ticket item.
right. I'm saying right like I know, but I don't get facials, but I definitely open to it.
Why not? These services are not just for women. I
Right,
have men
right.
that
This
come
is
to me
true.
too.
Right. I can imagine. When I looked at the health benefits of all this stuff, I was like, man, maybe I should need to go get myself a facial and everything like that. I'm gonna have to definitely call you up and schedule an appointment with you.
Oh, come on. We'll be glad to have you.
Absolutely. All right, I'll be glad to go. Try to get myself docked up for the summertime.
Okay. It's time to get summertime fine.
That's all right. Right, right. Another question that I'm thinking is, how long have you had your mini spa? How
It'll
long you
be a
been open
year in
for?
June.
A year in June. Okay, so just under a year. How does that experience change you, would you say? Has it changed you in any way? Maybe it hasn't changed you, but if there was a way that it changed you, do you recall?
Yes, it's changed me in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
It's made me be patient.
Okay.
It made me to pray a lot. I've always prayed a lot, but I
Hmm.
definitely pray more now.
Hmm.
I had to humble myself in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I can understand where that is a necessary quality to be humble. to humble yourself.
It forced me to be financially responsible even more. I've
Mhm.
always been pretty financially responsible, but when you're
Mm,
working for yourself, you can't go out and just go shopping because you know you'll be having a check at the end of the week, because that's not
mm,
going to happen. You might have a check at the end of the week, but now you have business expenses to pay for along with your living expenses.
that's true. Well, as I'm thinking about what you're saying, I think it's so important. I really love your story because the thing that I'm gathering from you is that you seem like I said, I've always known you to be a wonderful person, a total sweetheart. And I think about, leadership because, there's going to be people that are going to be coming into this space under your tutelage.
Right.
And it's going to require that you become, that you're definitely patient because, people, when you deal with the public, when you deal with people, you always got to be patient, but also the care. I was in the military, I would say it all the time for a long time, for over a decade. And part of being a leader, that people always think in the military, it's all about you yelling at people and telling people what to do. And yeah, it is. You are yelling at times. You are telling them what to do, but you're doing it. The reason why you're yelling at them is because you honestly want for them to be better people. You want to see them success. You want to take somebody that is a undisciplined civilian person, maybe selfish, self centered, and teach them to become a responsible soldier, a member of a team. That team of people can absolutely depend on them to do their job to the best of their ability and know that they can get that from them every day. And as I hear you talking about your journey here, I can already see, at least in my mind, I feel as though you will definitely be successful if you can be patient and if you care about people and you have their best interests at heart. And I've not known you to be anything other than a person that can do that.
That's how I was raised. My
Mhm.
mom always cared about people. My grandmother always cared about people. Like
Right.
we were raised to be of service to the community. In
Mhm.
fact, my aunt, she has a youth development center. Like my
Mhm.
family has always been of service to the community.
Right.
To me, this is nothing new. This is what we were designed to do.
Right. And I love how you even said that. This is what we were designed to do. Yeah. That's awesome. What would you say to somebody that is interested into getting into this type of business? Is there any type of advice that you would give them?
What I would tell them is you have to love people in order to do this. You have to be patient with yourself and other people. You have to know your craft, be willing to study and be a perfectionist with it. You have to become the specialist because anybody can do this, but the person that stands out in a crowd is going to be the specialist.
Yeah, you're right. Because I wrote a life insurance policy for a lady that she owns Lash House in Philadelphia. And I remember when she first started, she first said that she wanted to start off by doing facials. And then she ended up learning how to do lashes. And then she did lashes in, she told me in her apartment. I think she got a chair and started doing lashes in her apartment, I believe. Now it's grown to a pretty nice business. She makes I would say, a good income doing that. But what made her, because there's a lot of people, like you said, that do lashes, but it was her attention to detail and fine tuning her craft and adapting. Because I asked her about, I said, how do you, do the lashes? And she's saying it's quite painstaking because not everyone's eyes are the same. And the same, I guess there's a, please forgive me, anybody out there that does this, because I don't know too much about it. I'm just trying to explain it the best I can. But she was saying that I guess there's different patterns that you would use for eyes, and there's different lengths and all this. There's a whole lot that goes into it, more than my mind could probably handle.
Yeah,
But
it's a mapping system. You have to be able to map it out, know different eye shapes, and you have to be able to tell what lengths there. Everyone has a different length of eyelashes. Some people want it long, some people want it natural, they want classic style, they want a hybrid. It just depends. Yes, we do eyelashes at Conscious Beautiful as well.
right. So to go along exactly what you were saying, she was saying that it takes really understanding each individual client, understanding what they want, really understanding what looks well for them.
Right. That also
Right.
comes with the consultation.
Mm.
Your
So
consultation has to be your roadmap to everything.
Yeah, I would agree with you because even in with insurance, it's not just like a one size fits all. But you're right, you do find out, what is it that the client wants, what's their goals, what do they want to happen, what can they afford, how does everything, you kind of create that picture. So that consultation is definitely, I can agree with you, even from my experience, that's 100% important. My last question for you is, what do you like most about yourself?
My personality. I'm going to scratch that. I'm going to say my adaptability is what makes me good at this.
Right.
You have to be able to relate to any situation that comes your way.
Right.
You have to be able to relate to the people that you're servicing, because some of
Right.
them come in and they've had surgeries and they have lymphatic fluid on their waists or on their
Mm,
legs or wherever it may be. And they just want you to get the fluid off of them. They want you to help them stop the pain.
mm,
Some of them come in and they have, very bad acne and they
mm.
just want help.
Honestly, I didn't even think about that side of the business. I didn't even look at it from that perspective, but that is such a profound point. I guess as a guy, and this is why I appreciate even doing these interviews and stuff like that, because as a person, we kind of live in our own bubble and world. And as a guy, I don't think about these things. I haven't had to deal with this, but this is not just stuff that's being done for veins so you can have glower, so you can be quote unquote prettier or better looking or whatever. But
Some of it is, some of it is, but
yeah,
there's a lot of people that are there because they have eczema or they have very bad acne. There's some people that come in have never had acne before in their life, and now they're 40 and 50 years old and have acne and don't know
right.
what to do.
What you do is not just cosmetically pleasing, it's also a form of healing.
Yes.
That is awesome. Heather, where can people find you? How can they contribute to your business? How can they have access to your services? Where can they find you?
Well, I'm located at 1101 Hamilton Street, Suite
Okay.
379, but they can also call me at 484-750-8993. And we also take online appointments.
Okay.
We also have online consultations if need be.
And what was that number again? A little bit slower?
484-750-8993.
Perfect. And can we find you online?
Yes, at consciousbeautiful.com.
Conscious Beautiful. That's the name of your business. I totally, absolutely apologize. I'm at the end of the interview with you, and I just now brought up the name of your business. I apologize about that. Conscious Beautiful.
Yes,
Mm.
it's Conscious Beautiful Mini Spa. Our website is consciousbeautiful.com.
Well, Heather, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know we had a couple of hiccups throughout the interview here, some
Yeah.
technical difficulties, but just hearing your perspective about your business and what you bring to the table has just been awesome. It's been eye opening for me. It's given me something to think about, and I can definitely guarantee you that you definitely have another customer because I am definitely coming to you for clip
We
service.
look
I don't
forward to seeing you.
all right, awesome. Absolutely. And for those of you listening, I want to thank you again for listening to another episode of Brothers Talk. And please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. I would love to hear what you thought about this interview and if you had any questions or anything that we could have done better. So, with that said,